Good morning, traders. This is Perry Wilkie with StartUpTrading.com. It is 8 minutes till 9 a.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday, November 26th. So, uh, title of the video is FOMC meeting minutes at 2. We do have minor news at 10 and quite a few different things hitting the tape. Consumer confidence, new home sales in Richmond, manufacturing index. Uh, but 2 o'clock, the FOMC meeting minutes, you have to assume that will be a volatility event. If it's not, it's not, but you have to assume that it will be and, protect your capital uh, as you normally would. And then tomorrow we're going to have, you know, 8:30 news that is Red Star for sure. And then at 10 o'clock, we're going to have what would have been the Thursday morning 8:30 news, the core PCE price index, which is also a Red Star event, and then going through and then getting ready for our holiday. So looking back at yesterday's tape real quick, uh, you had the Russell and the Dow that just pushed up in the morning and flagged sideways for both of them, and then for the Nasdaq and the ES, you just had that float back down into value for the Nasdaq, which drove the ES down into a check of value and then back up, uh, basically consolidating right under that SPX cash 6,000. Which is, the future 6,000 to 6,011. The cash is right around 6,019 on the futures right now, maybe 18 today. Uh, and then let's get into what that did to structure. We have excess and A lines basically on the NASDAQ and the ES. So at the ES, it's 6,024, which is right, just above that cash 6,000 level. And for the NASDAQ, that's 20,961 half. Uh, we'll get into it in a second, but the overnight highs have went right up to that line and stopped dead nuts. Over there. And if we look at the Qs today, there is quite a big position that expires today of the calls at 510 on the QQQs. There's 22,647 on the open interest today. Right now, the Qs are trading 508.32. So basically, that would be around uh, 65 to 70 points. Uh, 65, yeah, let's just call it 65 points above where we're currently trading right now on the uh, those. So that was going to put it up to 20,000 uh, and 10. So 20,010 is going to be right around where this 510 is. We'll, get better numbers once the market's open, but you can watch. But that should be your call wall. And potentially, we could get anytime there's these big, huge numbers like this that are expiring today, we usually get a check above them, and then potentially when you cross back under them, that's when you get acceleration. So you get more of a pull towards, and then a whip past both ways when it does. And you can kind of shelf on there. The normal pattern was since we're under it, you would go up, maybe even up towards this 512. You would sit there and consolidate for, several hours, and maybe when the FOMC minutes come out this afternoon, then you would whip under them, and you could get in a negative feedback loop under them potentially. I won't be here this afternoon. I have some calling hours to go to, so I'll miss that action. But just be careful. And don't get too cocky with the action. It could be, it's one of those things that can happen slowly as you sit here, and then when it breaks, it just, gives way like a floodgate. So looking at the SPY real quick, the SPY is currently trading 599, and you can see for the week we got, 600 is a big number, but for today you got 600 all the way to 605. But you can see looking at the week, you can see where that 600, 601 for today is lining up, and you can see right here, you know, you're only looking at for today right around 1800 uh, of each of these, right? And then 19,393 on this 605. But you've got for the week, you got almost 11,000, or I'm sorry, 110,000. Let me take that back, on the 600 level. So that's only going to be about 10 points higher than we're currently trading on the ES. So again, that's going to be right around 6,028, 29, right in there. I'm not going to get into the cash today. So as we look at the overnight, we basically had in both of the indexes, we'll look at that in a second, but we had a liquidation break on the futures early in the session last night, took out and undercut the low of the previous day's session, and then just ripped right back up towards the high of the session. The point of control from yesterday is 6,006 half. Uh, Looking at the one time framing, uh, for the session, right, we have ended one time framing higher. However, I don't really put any I don't give any weight at all to what happens overnight when I'm looking at this, because only 15% of the volume trades overnight, sometimes 20, but it's usually only 15% of the session. The real, uh, you know, things that you've got to take note of as far as that they're meaningful with volume is between the bells only. So we are going to be squarely inside of yesterday's range when we open up. Uh, and then yesterday, the ES did touch the top of balance pretty close enough for government work. The high for yesterday was 6,040. I had the top of balance marked as 45 quarter, and then 53 quarter is the all-time high. But basically, you got up there and you kind of fell back. That happened early in the bell session yesterday. So overnight action, 47 points for the yes, and you can see there's that excess in A line right at 6,024 that we've, come right up to, and the overnight high is 6,023 quarter, so 3 ticks under this excess in the A line. And if we look at the NASDAQ the same way, uh, you've got, just barely, missing that as well in the overnight. So until you can get and break above that line, which you've got a lot of liquidity above here, right? You've got a poor high. So you could get the two scenarios for profile is when you've got a clear resistance, poor high that you're not, building any excess above. You can get a fade away from that early, then another charge either this session or later that takes it out. But the thing to be of note is, even though you only have the 15% of the volume trading in the overnight, you do have a bunch of stops right on a key technical level. So getting above there, you should get a stop run, and all, you know, bull runs start, every single bull run starts with a stop run for the shorts. And then you either get follow through and new buyers above there, uh, and then you continue, right? That's a look above and go. Or you get that there were only shorts covering, no new longs, and you get the pop and the flop. So they're both on the table. You have to give, especially on a low liquidity week like we've got today, you've got to give a little bit more of an edge to the bulls that you will find, some retail buyers looking to take it higher. And higher to me would be, remember, you've got that 20,010 level is going to be your first level that you're going to, check. And then you could get, remember, 80 points higher than that. There's going to be 20,090. And then if you really go, you're going to get a test of this 21,140 quarter. Sometime that would probably take FOMC meeting minutes to hit that. I would be shocked if we could hit that before we get a major catalyst today. And I'm putting all the, that is providing that we can even get a test above these excess and A lines, uh, earlier in the day. Uh, if not, you're looking at trading down to value area low once again. Then you have to see if there's, responsive buyers down there for the inside day scenario, waiting on that news this afternoon. Uh, And also keep in mind that it's not unusual for institutions, right, that are here this week. A lot of them aren't going to be here, but you get a drop down here. The VIX should be rising. They will sell that VIX up until almost the time that them FOMC meeting minutes come out, uh, sometimes in the past. So any dip that's major before the FOMC meeting minutes come out at 2 is more than likely buyable. And you'll just have to watch for signs of the reversal. And Jack's been, sharing those fair value gaps, and you can mark them off for yourself. You're looking for a reversal, and as far as potential divergence at that time on any low. I hope this helps. Uh, to the downside, if we really get going, there's not any markers. I covered the upside, but there's not really any markers for me. And you would have to get all the way down to 20,232 half. I don't know if that's really in the cards for today. We got some more. We got a lot of news on the table tomorrow, uh, so we'll just have to see. And we've got a lot of traders that were trapped in the overnight. It'll be interesting to see with that quick flush we had in recovery in the early overnight session, uh, you know, with a little bit of volume there. If you can get any traction below value area low, will be something else I'm watching early on in the session. I hope this helps. You guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.